Okay, so we are back into the second period. Having a sound issue. I'm going to wait if people can hear me or not. No idea what's going on with this. We'll be back in just a second. Okay, so we are hopefully back. I believe I've been told the audio is good now, so we are resuming here. Missed about a minute and a half of action, though I don't believe I missed very much. Ramapo in possession, Smilus up top. Looking for options, checks over to Panaccio. Panaccio now. As I will attempt to find the reference picture of the thingamabob that's next to me, the switcher. I'm being told the audio is still not okay. I don't know what happened here. Okay, so I think we have it right now. I'm hoping, at least. Everything should be turned on. Hopefully we're good to go. I'll wait for another signal from my nearby helpers. Still being told no, so I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so I've been given the go. We're good now? I think we're good now. So back into it. 12:20 remaining here as Ramapo still has possession. A huge thank you to the folks sitting right next to me that let me know that the entire first period was mute, basically. So we're straight back into it. Apologies for not being around. I'm kind of just the guy that speaks. I'm not an audio tech at all. As Ramapo is dispossessed here, an injured player is down on the floor. Stake lost. Carnage had. Panaccio recovering. Looks to be okay. Stands up amongst her own will. Seemed to be an accidental collision there in the slot. Just a stroke in 12 minutes. If you're just joining us, this is Bob Houck bringing you all the action today in the booth. My number got called in an emergency situation. So things went terribly wrong in the athletic department. They needed to bring me out here. So 5-0 is your score after one period. Ramapo have been dominating possession. Smilus inside. Shoots. Scores. So welcome back. 6-0 is now your score. Smilus with her second of the day. As the Knights will make a change with their lone substitute, Sophia Sandoval from Salt Lake City, Utah, checking on in. Casey Sr. will get a break on the sideline. As the Knights find themselves in quite a deficit, so only way from here is up, as the Knights will try and fight their way back into this route thus far. As previously mentioned when I was on mute, apparently, Ramapo is a very high-scoring team. They average 15 goals a game. As the Knights only average about 9. So if the Knights want to get themselves back into this, they're going to have to change that. As I'm told, audio is crisp and clear, so very happy to be back here. Of course, kind of hard to do my job if you can't hear me, because my only purpose of being here is to provide you commentary to the game. So another draw here in the middle. Smilas shoots it way out wide. The Knights looking to win the ground ball. This call is had, and it goes in the direction of the Roadrunners. Whitney to resume possession. Checks it over to Smilas. Smilas now all by herself. Checks it back. Whitney now. Over to Glazer. Glazer. Looking for options. Looks for Baez. Back door. Gets dispossessed as the Knights will try and get this out of the zone. Valente gets it over to Curley. Curley looking for options. Chucks it upfield. Possession is almost won. Ground ball loose as it is being fought for and won by Ramapo. So the Knights get the stop and then they can't get the clear. Inside goes the Roadrunners. Looking for space. Tries to get a shot off. Not quite. Goes back door. Checks down to Baez. Baez now. Looking to work around. Goes back up top. Finds its way to Whitney. Whitney now. Over to Odo. Odo goes back door. His possession moves around again. Looking for a slot. Not quite there. Gets into Baez. Baez shoots. Doesn't score. Just wide. So tried the bounce shot off the floor. Didn't quite get it. Knights take over possession here as they'll try and get it out of the defensive zone. As some type of call is had here. I didn't hear, though, the Knights have possession now. Curley looking to get off of this face guard behind the net. Getting harassed. Finds her way around. And gets leveled. Oh, my. Last I checked, you can't do that. So a little bit too much contact from Lexi Kalari, as she will serve a minute in the sin bin. Or as it is here on a field, a box that you sit in a chair in. So the Knights resume possession. Hansen charging up the sideline looking for options. Gets it off to De Leon. De Leon now. Gets dispossessed in the midfield. Loses the ground ball. Nacarado now grabs it. She gets her way into the offensive zone. Nacarado charging forward. Has options. Checks over to McGowan. McGowan over to Licardi. Licardi back up top to McGowan. McGowan now looking for options. Gets it over to Hansen. Hansen takes her time. Looks for a lane. Can't quite find it. Resets to McGowan. McGowan looking to direct some traffic. 40 seconds and counting on the shot clock. Licardi now. Licardi looking for options. Looks inside for Hansen. Gets deflected. Ground ball won back by the Knights. Up top to McGowan once again. McGowan looking around the screen. Can't quite find anything. Back inside to Hansen. Hansen shoots. She scores! First of the day for the Knights. Onto the board goes Kaylin Hansen. 6-1's your score line. Don't call it a comeback. 8 minutes and counting in 8:50 and counting in the second period. As some country is played on the speakers by our lovely group of country-loving sports information directors. And the Knights crawling into this game once again. A hard out, these Lady Knights, as most of the Knights teams are on campus. We may be a small school, but we definitely do not roll over. So, McGowan now to square off once again at the center circle with Smilas for the draw. I don't have live stats in front of me, though Smilas has been very hot from the face-off circle today. Face-off one almost directly to Ramapo. Ramapo looking to keep the ground ball. Nacarado in pursuit. Tries to get possession and wins it. So to Senior, Senior charges on in, looking for options as the offense gets set. Goes up top to McGowan. McGowan now looks to quarterback the offense. Knock right up back to McGowan. McGowan over to Senior. Senior now. Over to Licardi. Licardi checks it to De Leon. De Leon now. Looking for options. Gets dispossessed. Looks to win the ground ball back. Gets it. Gets smacked again. Loses the ball, and some excessive contact is called. So the Knights will resume possession here. So green card is shown to Schettino as she will serve 1 minute in the sin bin. The Knights, scoring on the last advantage, looks to cash in once again. Hansen resumes, looks for options. Gets it over to Nacarado. Nacarado now up top to McGowan. Over to Shannon. Shannon now checks the back door, finds its way over to Licardi. Licardi back to Hansen. The Knights taking their time on offense here, as they've slowed the pace of this game down. Ramapo enjoys to play at a high-octane pace. The Knights looking to negate that. McGowan now looking for options. Looks to find a shooting lane. Can't quite get through. Spins. Looked to have gotten knocked in the head there, though nothing called. Tries to get it to Nacarado. Nacarado doesn't get it. Ground ball almost won by the Knights. Senior dispossessed, and call going in the way of Ramapo. Ramapo resuming possession, trying to get it out of the zone. Getting full strength back in just a second here, as we're on an even playing field. Tries to find into the slot, gets deflected. Ramapo still maintains possession. Over to Glazer. Glazer now backdoor to Cassidy. Cassidy holds it. Tries to find a way around, shoots, and scores. Thought it was off the side netting and is in the back of the netting. So 7-1 as the Roadrunners maintain their 6-goal lead. 6:43 remaining in the second. So the Knights' defense being ran down by this Ramapo roster. So the Knights' resilience proved fruitful for just a moment. Ramapo gets the goal right back, and we are straight back to a 6-goal disadvantage. Ramapo wins, get another ground ball. They charge forward. Smilus now. Not Smilus, I apologize. Kalari. So Kalari brings it all the way in, gets it up top to Cassidy. Cassidy holds it. Almost gets intercepted. Ramapo holds on to it, looking for a shot inside, gets deflected. And the Knights get called, so I believe this will be a penalty shot for Ramapo. So Glazer stands with the ball in the penalty position, looking to extend the lead. Curley, the lone guardian between the sticks, looks to not let that happen. 5:40 and counting as shot is taken and it is scored. Bethany Glazer with another tally on today's total, as Ramapo extends their lead to 8-1. Running away with this one, as I'll use the pun of their school mascot. Ramapo extending their lead late in the first half. The Knights looking to do anything to get back into this game. Sandoval checks back in for the Knights, as we will resume a face-off in the middle with McGowan and Smilus. Miguel from McGowan from Farmingdale, a towering 6 foot tall, though has struggled on faceoffs today. As that is flicked up in the air, the Knights looking to win the ground ball, as they do. So Fassett looking to get away from some defenders, some tricky moves, gets it up top, and the Knights will charge forward. Shannon dispossessed as Ramapo will charge forward. Smileless with it, but an active member of Ramapo's roster today. It's not Smileless, I apologize again. I keep seeing the 3, it's Kalari. But she gets dispossessed. Nakarado charging back the other way, looking for options. As a timeout is called with offensive possession. So the Knights will take a second here to go over how they want to play this. So 82 seconds will be on the shot clock, 5:02 on the game clock when we come back in just a second. So we break out of the 2 huddles. Ramapo having a blast on the road today as the Knights look to bunker down on their home turf. 8-1 still your scoreline. If you're just joining us, welcome on in. This is Bob Houck on the call as we bring you women's lacrosse in a non-conference matchup today as your Mount St. Mary College Knights trail by 7 leading into the end of the first half. So Knights will resume with offensive possession. McGowan stands over it as they will look to get themselves back onto the board here. The ladies take the positions, and we are back underway. Nakarado with it now, over to Hansen. Checks over to Shannon, Shannon back to Hansen. Nakarado holding it, over to McGowan now. Over to Senior. Senior over to Valente. Valente loses it, though gets it right back. Some off-ball movement, looking for a slot here. Not quite finding any lanes. Valente tries to get it inside to Senior. Senior loses it, though. Ball is given back to Ramapo. Apologies for any background noise. I think coins were falling in my pocket. I think there's a hole in my in my wallet. So Ramapo charging back up field here. 4 minutes remaining, looking to tack on to their already fairly large lead. Roadrunner's looking for a slot inside, shoots and scores. As cool as you'd like. Mary Cassidy back onto the scoreboard. The freshman attacker from New Jersey gets herself another tally on the day. So 9-1 your score line here. As the Knights just cannot get themselves out of this hole, and Ramapo continues to grab more shovels. So 3:52 remaining as a less than optimal first period here, or first half here for the Knights. As we will resume at the face-off circle. The usual suspects once again, as the Zebra Stripes will place the ball, and we'll get back underway. So the crowd has slowly built here at Kaplan. We have ourselves a few folks all hanging about in this cold weather today. As Ramapo once again wins the face-off. So charging back in here. Ramapo looks slot. Cassidy again. Shoots. Saved by Curley. Fires one upfield. McGowan now. Trying to get out over to Hansen. Hansen has wheels. She'll take off. Streaking up the central channel. Cuts inside. Looks for some lanes. Goes behind the cage and will reset. Looks inside for Senior. Senior shoots. Saved. A wonderful play by Indominico. She has not had a whole lot of action to deal with today. That one a very threatening shot as Ramapo charges forward here. Not a soul in sight to challenge Pinocchio. As she checks down back door. Inside all alone. Shoots. Scores! Lexi Kalari from Saddlebrook, New Jersey. The freshman attacker gets herself a goal on the day. 10-1's your scoreline. As the Knights down 9 goals with less than 3 minutes going into the second half. So Mike Lau and crew having a rough go of it, though. No shade, of course. As Ramapo got off on a very hot foot and just has not let off the gas pedal. The Knights have not really been able to get themselves back into this one. Have had some threatening moments, though, been negated by the suffocating defense of Ramapo. I should say maybe the suffocating work rate of Ramapo as they get themselves the ball once again. Possession taken. Behind the net is Glazer. Glazer now. Over to Kalari. Kalari checks inside, deflects off Smiley's stick, and the Knights looking to win the ground ball. They do. Senior now looking for a lane to get out. Gets checked again. Curley can't quite find it. Ball gets given back to Ramapo. Ramapo looking to win that ground ball. Is there a fight for it in the far corner? A call is had, and Knights possession is given. So Hansen now. She'll look to try and charge upfield. Gets through 2 defenders, keeps on going, looking for options. Now she'll take it behind the net, and we'll reset here. As the attackers will get into their positions. Lacardi now.
You need to send colors on slow.
Coach not happy, letting the offense know they got to move around more. McGowan now looking for options. As Senior looks to try and get through. Tries to toss to Nakarado, does. Nakarado looks for a lane, can't quite find it. Gets him behind for Lacardi. Lacardi looking for a slot cutter, not finding one. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. McGowan now looks for a shot, can't quite find it. Lacardi now looks to bend around the net, can't quite get a lane. Looking for cut inside, not quite getting it. Nakarado drops the ball, looks to win it back. 10 seconds and counting on the shot clock. Bodies flying as the Knights win the ground ball. 4 seconds now, got to get a shot off. Not going to get it quite as the ball is lost and a shot clock violation on the Knights as Ramapo will resume possession here. So the longest possession of the day, though not a single shot on frame. The Knights just can't quite find that right footing on offense. Ramapo charging forward as Torek is mobbed on defense. And a green card is shown to Hansen, so she'll serve a 1-minute minor. 28 seconds and counting in the first half as we will be coasting into a 10-1 scoreline after 2 periods. Play to resume with Torek. She charges forward. Lacardi slaps and gets the ball back. So Knights charging the other way with a disadvantage, as the ball is lost and it stays in the hands of Ramapo. Ramapo now more than likely to just hold it through the last 10 seconds. A running clock. As I'm incorrect, they're looking for a shot. Gets inside of Smiley. She lets one fly and doesn't quite get it. Smiley, I apologize. So, I believe Smiley was a nickname the sideline was giving her. So, the scoreline at the end of the first half, 10-1. A little bit of a rout thus far as Ramapo finds themselves out 9. Knights can only find one goal by the hands of Kaylin Hansen. So the Knights will look to try and get themselves back into this bout. Don't go anywhere for second half action. Okay, so we are back into the second half here in just a second. Both teams resuming their positions on the field. Ramapo is having a team sing along to Unwritten on their sideline. I would be doing the same if I was up 9 goals. So your score going into the third period, 10-1 Ramapo. If you're just joining us, welcome on in. This is Bob Houck on the call, bringing you all of today's action. The Knights have a goaltender change. Peyton Curley has exited the match for Sophia Sandoval. So the first year getting some time in net, as the Knights will look to fight their way back into this game. Smiles and McGowan stand over the faceoff, as per the usual. And we are clear for takeoff for second half action. Ramapo takes control off of the draw. They are charging forward here, has been the cliff notes of today's game. A lot of Ramapo pace being held. So, working behind the cage, gets inside, gets dispossessed. Roadrunner is looking for some slot cutters. Not quite. Gets intercepted. Ground ball won by the Knights. Facet trying to find her way out. Getting bombarded by 3 Roadrunners in the corner. Just lets it fly. Ramapo intercepts it. As Senior fighting her way through there. Ramapo winning the ground ball. Not quite. As the Knights get the deflection, and they will make their way out. So a strong defensive possession to start the half in the Knights. Hansen taking off. As she herself is a Roadrunner. Infinite engine in that lady. She keeps going. She keeps going. Looks for options. Can't quite find a shooting lane. Goes back to Licardi. Licardi will take her time. Checks on over to Shannon, I believe. Over to Senior. So the Knights taking their time, getting into position. Of course, you get very long shot clocks in lacrosse. Nacarado up top. So teams like to pick out the perfect shot. Nacarado looks to make a move. Tries to cut inside. Can't quite find it. Has McGowan inside. McGowan getting hounded. Tries to get a shot off. Can't quite. Flips it to Shannon. Shannon now. Goes behind the cage. Resets. That is Hansen now looking for a shooting lane. Can't quite get around it. Loses possession. Tries to win the ground ball. Gets shoved off of McGowan now. Keeping the defender off with her frame. McGowan holding on to it. Looking for options. Less than 15 seconds on the clock. Got to get a shot off here. Knights look inside. Take a rip. Get saved. So Senior got a shot off, though. Indominico is fit to the task. Ramapo getting a field, nothing but open space for Cassidy. Cassidy charging forward. Will test the freshman goalkeeper off rip. Gets dispossessed, not quite. That was Valente in coverage there, a previous Skyline Rookie of the Week winner. Oh, an impressive resume already for the first year. Up top to Whitney as Ramapo resets here. Cassidy gets control of it. Resets completely. So Kalari now. Over to Glazer. Glazer, a multi-goal scorer of today. Smiles now. Looks to find a lane. Can't quite. Gets dispossessed. As the Knights try and win the ground ball to get it out. They don't. The ball gets punched around. Smiles gets it back. 30 seconds and counting on the shot clock. Up top for Glazer again. Glazer looking for an opening. Nacarado not having any of it. Gets dumped off. 20 seconds and counting for the Roadrunners. Looks for a shot. Gets saved. Sandoval fit to the task. Freshman netminder being tested early. Looks for a clear. Gets deflected. Knights try to win the ground ball. And they don't. Shot inside. And a shot in the net. As Glazer finds, I believe, a hat trick on the day. As the lead is extended by 10. Or 2-10, I apologize. Yeah, goals aren't worth 10, they're worth 1. So 11-1 is your scoreline. There we go. We got it right now. So Sandoval finds herself her first save of the half. Couldn't quite get the clear out. Roadrunners win the ground ball as they're saving the ball. So I believe that was a hat trick. Yes. Okay, cool. So I had that correct, if I'm not mistaken. was she already? Apologize. Hold on. Oh, so from my stat sheet, actually, that was her 4th of the game. Dear Lord. So 11-1 is your scoreline. Save that ball, as that is quite a game from Bethany Glazer. So Ramapo finding success through their work rate as they outmuscle the Knights there for a goal and test the freshman netminder. I believe the Knights have forfeited the opportunity to have a substitute. They do have quite a small roster. I do not believe Curley plays the field, where Sandoval, I believe, does intermittently. There is no substitutes available for the Knights. So the ladies they have out there will be the ladies you'll see all the way until the end of the game, minding another substitution in net. Smiles now. Checks all the way across to Cassidy. Cassidy looking for movement. Tries to find a lane. Does. Shoots. Save. Sandoval again. So 2 saves already as the clearance is had, and the Knights will try and move upfield. Senior now with it. So Sandoval having a solid first half, despite the goal given up on an unlucky deflection that ended up with Ramapo, and they got a clean shot out. Senior keeps going. Looks for options. Hansen now looks to set up the play. Goes towards the back of the net to Lacardi. And we'll get to work. Knights looking for inside bodies. Nothing quite there. McGowan up top all on her own. Few cuts being made. Inside to Senior. Pick and roll not there. Inside again as a heavy contact is made. Call is made by the referee. And I believe that will be a penalty shot. So Nacarado gets hacked. And a penalty shot will be had. Yes, okay, so the Knights looking for their 2nd of the day. Nacarado all on her own. Nacarado, the junior from Kingston, New York, looks to get the Knights back into this matchup. And Domenico, the netminder, doesn't find it, and it is in the net. So off the post and in, the Knights get themselves up another goal. 11-2 is your scoreline. Deliciana Nacarado gets herself a goal. An odd-looking play there. Went off the post and in the net. I don't know if Indomenico got a touch on that or not, though. They all count the same. The Knights down 9 with 8 minutes remaining. 8 minutes and change remaining in the 3rd period. So I believe that is Shannon that is Senior at the midfield line. So a different draw taker for the Knights this time. Smiles again, taking the face-off. I had both of those wrong, actually. That was Lacardi. I could not see the number the way she was standing where I sit. Though the Knights lose another draw. Ramapo charges down the field, and they'll take possession here. So post-mortem, for whoever's watching this, I apologize for having face-off names wrong. Odo now inside. Looking for some space. Can't quite find a lane. Finds a cutter. Takes a rip. And she scores! Chachuga finds herself off an odd angle. Rips a top shelf. Sandoval couldn't quite find it. So no mercy as the Roadrunners find themselves up 12-2 here, keeping the lead. After both goals the Knights have had, the Roadrunners came right back and scored. So a long day gets longer as Coach Lau and crew look to figure out what the heck are we going to do. Lacardi again for the faceoff against Smiles. Ramapo did edge out MSMC the first half on draws. Ramapo did have more controls off the draw than the MSMC Knights did, though. The Knights get this one back. Hansen in transition, charging downfield, wants a shot, gets dispossessed. Grabbed up by Indomenico. There we go. That is one heck of a name. Daniela Indomenico, the junior goalkeeper from Wayne, New Jersey. Checks down here to Kalari. Kalari charges upfield. As De Leon is in pursuit, can't quite get to her. Kalari just keeps going. Smiles up top, checks over to Cassidy. Cassidy now almost gets intercepted. Ball is reobtained by Baez. Baez now up top to Cassidy. Cassidy over to Smiles. Smiles to Odo. Behind the net, moving around is Glazer. Glazer looking for a lane. 40 seconds and counting on the shot clock. Smiles now loses possession of it. Wins the ground ball back. Not quite. Nacarado in pursuit. Nacarado trying to get her off the ball. Nacarado wins the ground ball. And an impressive effort from Feliciana Nacarado, the previous goal scorer, gets whacked over the head. As I believe a green card will be shown to Smiles as she'll take a 1-minute minor. And the Knights will have a woman advantage here for 1 minute. So clock ticking down. As I some deliberation here, I don't think that's supposed to happen. So unless I'm missing something, I don't think you're supposed to wind the clock down while the play is not being resumed. Wouldn't make much sense if you lost 10 seconds to something that you can't control. So I think the scoreboard operator is getting back into shape here. Here we are. Okay. So no shade, just making sure everything's all right. As De Leon grabs possession here, she charges in field as another whistle is had. And another green card is shown to Whitney. So a full minute here of 2-woman up advantage for the Knights, as I don't think you can see the penalty box in front of me, but the 2 penalty havers sharing 1 singular seat in the sin bin. So that's pretty entertaining. As the Knights look to control this power play, I believe it's called. And if not, nevertheless, an advantage. Knights looking inside, gets deflected, Nacarado up top, doesn't take the shot. As I believe a P shot is being called here. Nacarado to get her second of the game. There was an abundance of contact there as it is called. So Indomenico, the lonesome protector of the sticks, looks to keep Nacarado out of the net. Nacarado charges in, saved. As an awkward possession there as McGowan loses the ball, and it goes straight into the lurking stick of Indomenico. So the penalty kill is pristine as Ramapo goes to full advantage, or full strength, as they do not concede a shorthanded goal. So Nacarado has it back. She gets into place up top to McGowan, as the Knights will reset. Hansen now by herself, looking for a lane, can't quite get it. Goes back to Lacardi. Lacardi now moving around behind the cage. Tosses one over to McGowan. McGowan now inside to Lacardi. Lacardi tries to get the shot, gets dispossessed. As another foul is called. And I believe there will be another penalty shot. Okay, I'm trying my darn hardest to keep up with these rules. Apologies, folks. So Antonia Lacardi will get herself a P shot against Indomenico as she saves another one. So she's 1 She's 2 for 1 on saves on penalty shots in Dominico. As a call is had, and I believe possession will retain with the Knights. Looking for the call here. So 2 goal-scoring opportunities getting negated by the junior netminder of Ramapo. As the Knights just cannot find themselves off the mat here. 2:45 and counting here in the third period. Sun is just glaring out a little bit, so it's warmer than it was to start the day. As we resume with this Sunday matinee showing of Knights Lacrosse. Senior tries to find a way around the wall of black and maroon. Can't quite. She'll go behind the cage and reset. Tries to go inside here. Shot! Bar Mexico! Shannon McGowan gets her first of the day. Sidearm from down low. Finishes up top. 3-12 is your score. So we will resume here in the face-off circle as the Knights get themselves back into this matchup. So the Knights get possession here, charging in here, Hansen behind the net. 2-minute warning here just in a second for the third period. Hansen cradles around. 70 seconds and ticking on the shot clock. McGowan tries to make a move. Tosses it over to Nakarado. To Valente. Valente now. Over to Hansen. So pace of play is certainly slowed down just a tad here. As the Knights taking their time with this possession. Looks inside, gets deflected. Valente made the cut, couldn't quite hold on to it. Ball's fired up top to Smiler. She snares it out of the air. She's charging forward. And if my math is correct, yes, shot clock is just ahead of game clock, so they can take up the rest of this period if they so please. Ramapo, though not keen to taking anything slow. Ramapo makes a move inside, shoots, misses, as there is, I believe, a call on the field, not quite. Contact is made, bodies on the floor. Sandoval ends up with the ball as the Knights will retain possession here. It's a little bit of a chaotic possession as Hansen loses the ground ball. Whitney gets it back. She'll try and reset, and she will. Up top to Kalari. Kalari now. 40 seconds left on the game clock. Double that on the shot clock. Kalari moves in, shoots, saved by Sandoval. Ball trickling around. Ground ball once again won by Ramapo. Ramapo winning the overall ground ball battle this game. Looks inside, shoots, scores! Glazer on another one. I think that is her 5th of the game. My God. Who's going to stop her? Catch her if you can. As we move to a 13-3 deficit going into the fourth period. So a gorgeous ball into the slot as we will go in the fourth period. Today's story, Bethany Glazer from Boonton, New Jersey, going buck wild against the Knights. So down 10 here. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is women's lacrosse. So we have resumed fourth period play. As Ramapo resumes possession here. Away we go. So if you're just joining us, welcome on in. This is Bob Hauk on the call, taking you through all the action, though there's only one period left of action on this brisk Sunday afternoon of a matinee showing of women's lacrosse. Ramapo College is up 13-3 on your Mount St. Mary College Knights, as the ladies look to get themselves back into this lopsided contest. Roadrunners controlling possession here. They have control of possession, though they've been very quick on possession today, so this longer possession is not quite up to snuff to what they've been doing. Smiley's looking for a lane, can't quite find one. The Knights doing a good job at covering up the shooting lanes as a ball gets fired off the iron. Sandoval saw it, though she didn't make the save. The orange tubing being of assistance there, keeping this game where it's at. First minute already gone. Ramapo looking to get themselves a shot off, as Sandoval gobbles up the ball, and possession will be held with the Knights. Ball is checked to De Palma. De Palma trying to get clear. Getting body face guarded here. She gets one out to Nacarado. Nacarado looks to take off. She's getting hacked at. She'll keep running. She's protecting the ball. And she gets it over to Licardi. Licardi now all by herself, looking for her attackers to get into position. Looking for some cutters off ball. Looks for Nacarado inside. Doesn't quite find her. Up top to Hansen. Hansen charging in. Looking for a lane. Can't quite find it. She'll go behind the cage and we'll do it all over again. Over to Licardi now. Up top to McGowan. Nacarado still holding it. Coach making some marching orders from the sideline, telling his girls to move. McGowan wants a shot, can't quite take it. Looks to cut inside once again, can't quite. And she'll try and check inside. As the Knights are getting swarmed by Ramapo bodies, the Roadrunners end up with the ball. Chichuga flying away. Dumps it off, and off to the races we go. I believe that's Kalari in possession. She'll keep going. Wants the shot. Gets saved. Sandoval fit to the task. So some high-octane action there. 12 minutes and counting in the final period of this contest. Nacarado now with the ball. Charging forward. Has some options. Elects not to take him just yet. Takes one now. And we'll reset behind the net. I believe that is Licardi with the ball in her hands. Checks over to Shannon. Shannon now taking her time. Senior gets pummeled. McGowan tries to keep it in play. Can't quite. So Ramapo will resume possession. Chichuga now. Checks in to Indominico. And she'll look for passing options. Lets one fly way upfield. Smiley's can't quite find it, and that'll be in the direction of the Knights. So Indominico let it eat. Smiley's couldn't quite make the reception. And in light of receptions, the Knights flag football team has their debut games today. As I believe me and Lucas Stack will be on the call for that, so be on the lookout for those streams to pop up, as we'll go have some fun in the booth there. But we're still here, as De Leon looks for some lanes, goes over to Hansen again. Hansen been a busy body today. Ball gets inside, tipped over, and not quite a goal, I believe. Or is it? So a goal was thought to be had. There was interference on the play. Antonio Licardi will get the penalty shot. I apologize. I didn't quite lose track of the play. I just didn't know what happened. So Licardi now forms up. Indominico stands between the pipes. Already saved 2 penalty shots today. Looks to defend another one. She'll let eat. And it's wide. So the Knights maintain possession. Another penalty shot opportunity gone astray for the Knights. McGowan charges in. Wants a shot. Can't quite get it. She's been face guarded well today. Up top to Licardi. Inside a senior, she loses it. Now in transition, here goes Ramapo. Snipes one inside. Chichuga charging forward, has options. Finds Smilus. Smilus now. Back door, the Roadrunners look to get something inside. Shoots and scores! Odo gets her goal, as that makes it 14-3, Ramapo. So 9 minutes and counting here. The Knights losing by 11 goals. A rough day, as I believe a substitution has been made again. So Peyton Curley is back in the net. The senior netminder from New Paltz will resume the position in between the pipes, as the Knights square off with Ramapo for another draw. This one is won again by Smilus, straight to Whitney as they charge forward here. Smilus with the ball in possession. Almost intercepted, not quite. Kalari charges forward, wants a shot, gets dispossessed, gets it back. That was an interesting play. Baez now with it, looks for options inside the slot. Doesn't get any. Resets all the way atop to Smilus. Ball gets tossed around as that will go in the direction of the Knights. So the gray and blue resume play here. That is Nakarado. That was charging a few, and Hansen now with it. And she'll take off. She can move past midfield. She keeps going. Looks for options. She'll reset to the back of the cage. So a lull in play here. As a stoppage in play is had. The Knights still retain possession. 56 seconds on the shot clock to 7:28 on the game clock. So a foul was called. 1 minute minor for Jada Odo. As the Knights resume here. So the Knights with an advantage. Goes inside to Shannon. Shannon resets outside. Up top to Nakarado. 40 and counting on the lady up advantage. Some cuts being made inside. Finds Senior. Senior wants a shot. Can't quite get it. Goes around the back of the cage. Finds McGowan inside. She wants to shoot. She gets bodied. Loses the ball. As the Knights look to win the ground ball. They do. Not quite. And now they do. There we go. Nakarado now with it again. 15 and remaining on the advantage. Knights charging inside. McGowan shoots. She scores. So the Knights get the power play goal as it is 14-4 now. The Knights getting some goals for pride late in this match. As there is 6:20 in remaining. I believe clock is running due to mercy rule. From what I understand, I think. As we will resume in the middle of the field here for the face-off. McCarty to take it against Smilus. There was a spider that just crawled onto my notepad, and I almost freaked out here. I think I killed it. I don't know where it went. Long enough day would be not enjoyable if a spider came up and ruined my broadcast. So Ramapo wins another one. Whitney gets it up to Kalari and will charge forward. Ramapo now looking to find some space. Kalari keeps going, checks it off to Cassidy. Cassidy now. The Smileless, apologies, was a little bit behind on that one. Ramapo moving the ball around. Smileless inside, shoots, scores. As the Roadrunners reassume their 11-goal advantage and have matched their 15 goals per game average. So just about where they want to be. The Knights, not so much. Clock still running, less than 5 minutes remaining in the fourth period, as the Knights will look to play for some pride here in these last few minutes. So the Knights back at it, lose yet another draw.
First goal was scored by Mount St. Mary, number 11, Shannon McGowan. She is assisted by number 12, Antonia Licardi. That second goal was Ramapo, number 33, Erin Smilus. She is assisted by number 30.
So Knights win the ball back in defensive possession. I was listening to the goal announcements on the PA system. As 3:45 remaining here as the Knights charge forward. Back door to McGowan. McGowan over to Licardi. Licardi now. Over to Shannon. Shannon looking for options. Goes to Nacarado inside. Nacarado wants a shot. Can't quite get it. She gets swarmed. As Hansen tries to find her way inside for a shot. Shoots. Scores. So she gets her second of the day. Put in the work. You get rewarded. Caitlin Hansen, more than likely the top distance cover, ran today and the top goal scorer today with 2 on her tally. 5 to 15 is your score. From a senior from Port Jervis, New York, I believe also on the women's soccer team, so a dual sport athlete, very impressive. And I think if they had the stat tracking for miles covered, she would certainly be atop that list, though we don't really do that here. So I suppose that'll just leave it to the imagination. 240 and some change here, as we will mosey our way into the end of this match. Another draw here, won by Ramapo. Smilus on the tear today. As there was immediately something called against the Knights, as the Roadrunners will retain possession here. 2 minutes, 2-minute warning, as Ramapo looks to maintain some possession. Checks inside to Winnie. Winnie can't hold on to it. Ramapo looks to win the ground ball. As the ball gets trickled around, Knights win it right back, though they lose it immediately. So Valente had won it, though she got hacked, and then I believe a foul call was made. So the Knights will retain possession. Minute. So I think I was mostly correct. Panaccio will serve a minute here in the sin bin. The clock continues to tick down in this game. That is not particularly been close from the beginning, though a hard-fought battle from the Knights. McCarty finds the ground ball. Looks to set up possession here, set up shop during the woman-up advantage. Coach Lowell yelling for cutters, looking for some off-ball movement while they have an advantage on bodies on the field. Hansen again, the most recent goal scorer, looking for some space. Goes up top to Senior. Senior now. Gets it over to Shannon. So movement inside the slot, not quite there. McGowan looks for a shot, gets intercepted on the play. So the ball is given away, and McGowan gets it back. Looks for Cutter inside, ball gets swatted out of the air. Looking to win the ground ball is McGowan. And she proves successful there. Senior now, looking to find a slot. A foul call is had, and a penalty shot will be awarded. So 30 seconds left here. So the Knights will look to get one last goal for pride. And I believe this will be the 5th penalty shot this game for the Knights. So Indo Miniko already made 3 saves today on penalty shots, or at least has negated 3. As Senior passes it off to Nakarado shoots and scores! So some trickery in the box. Elects not to shoot. And gets her teammate a goal. The Knights down 15-6. I believe negates the Mercy running clock. So we'll freeze here and we'll get 27 seconds of action to close out the day. So a few bright spots here from the Knights, though the conversion rate of penalties certainly, I assume, will be addressed in the post-mortem. As the most glaring issue, letting up 15 goals is kind of hard to find yourself out of to a victory. Certainly not optimal, though that is just the very casual inferences I've made from this game. So Smilus wins yet another one. And she cradles all the way down to the corner. Dumps it off. Ramapo looking for Cutter inside. Gets intercepted. Facet with a wonderful play. Tries to get it out. 10 seconds and counting. Curley almost loses it. So she'll retain possession. And she gets bombarded. Gets it off to Hansen. 5 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1. And that is good game, safe travels. So Ramapo College comes into town, goes nuts, and scores 15 goals. 15-6 your final. The Knights cannot quite get themselves back into this game off the first whistle. So thank you so much for making me a part of your afternoon for this matinee showing of women's lacrosse. It has been a blast and a pleasure. This has been Bob Houck, and I hope to see you around again. So God bless, and see you around.